All right, we're sitting here with all-time wins leader at Mechanicsburg, Austin Reese, the first four-time state place tournament school history, capped off his senior year with the state championship. Austin, just first of all, just give us maybe a little recap of what you remember about the match and what was, maybe your thoughts going through the match, if you remember what was in your head during the match.
Okay.
So.
Well, I remember I went out there and I was extremely pumped up. My nerves were going every which way. I was nervous. I had like a huge feeling in my stomach, butterflies, and like it was hard to stay focused. But I went out there and I knew I had to start moving. I started moving, was wrestling good, and came close to taking me down. And I scrambled out of it and got the first takedown. And right at the end of the period, and I knew that was pretty solid and that was going to help a lot. And then we went into the second period, and he went down. And normally that's my best position, is on top. But I don't know what happened. Got a little antsy, and he escaped. Actually, he reversed me.
Yep.
I think. Yeah, he reversed me. But I came right out, so I wasn't nervous on bottom. So I was fine with going in the third period if I had to go down again. And so if I didn't give up a takedown, I'd been fine that period. But I ended up getting another takedown, and that was huge, getting that. But
So it puts you up 5-2.
5-2.
Yep.
And then we went into the third period, and I chose down because I was comfortable down because I came right out in like 10 seconds.
I think it was 5-3.
Yeah.
I think you got an escape, right? So 5-3 going into the third. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then so I chose down, and he knew he couldn't ride me, so he put me up. We went neutral. So 6-3.
So you're feeling pretty comfortable,
Yeah.
3-point lead.
Yeah, I knew I wouldn't give up 2 takedowns in one period. I just knew that wasn't going to happen. And we got into a big scramble, and I got into some good positions, and I didn't let him take me down. When he should have took me down probably, but
yeah, he was close.
Yeah, I was scrambling pretty good, and out of nowhere, I got hit with some stalling calls. I don't know why, but I even watched it on television, and they said that even the announcers said like they don't know why I gave it stalling. They said it was just a stalling call to make the match close, they think, but and there was probably like 15 seconds left, and I had him in a front headlock, and he tried to do like a co-op move, and and that was pretty nerve-wracking right there. But I came out almost took him to his back, but then was being a little cautious, so I stayed back, and then I was checking out the clock. Mm-hmm. Probably 5 seconds left, and he went to spin behind, and I locked up, grab his leg, throw it back down, and like right then I knew I was dead. My arms were dead, my whole body was dead, but I knew I was going to be rough. I had to go into overtime, so I was holding it, looked up at the ref, and the ref was shaking, said no two, and
at that time, what goes through your head?
It's hard to describe. It was awesome. My whole body was dead. Like, I could hardly lift my arms, but I looked right up at my family, and everyone was there, and it was awesome. But it was so worth it.
Yeah. So maybe talk about what was the, after your junior year, you were rated number 1, had a big lead in the semis. We're opening up old scabs here, and but obviously the scab's easier to open up after you win a state title than if you didn't. Does that stuff, did that match come into play in your mind at all during your finals match?
I think it came more into play during my semis match. I was more nervous for that because I was in the finals my sophomore year, and then that happened junior year. I didn't make it back to the finals, so I think that Friday night was really what I was nervous for. Because
you're wrestling a stud too.
Yeah, he's a state finalist too, and so I think that's what I was more nervous for. Was making it back first, I wrestled good. It was just solid. I was never really I never was really in danger of losing.
Yeah.
And so once I got past that match, I was pretty. I wasn't as nervous. I was ready to go and just knew what I had to do, and I wasn't really as nervous. But I wasn't still really nervous, but not as nervous as I should.
Not as bad as the other match. All right, so so you get done in the aftermath after winning the state title.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't. How long was it before you took off your medal?
I don't know. I wore it all the way home.
Did you sleep with it that night?
No, I should have. No, me and my dad went home. We watched my match and everything. We put on the TV and watched my match. I was wearing it then and everything.
So when you're watching your match that night, are you sliding in your chair, nervous about what's happening?
Yeah, I was sitting there just like freaking out during the last 10 seconds. Like, what? And I was like, and I looked at my dad. I was like, no, I was never even close to giving that up. No, we were good. And then, I mean, I couldn't help but smile when I was just watching myself celebrate. It was cool.
Yep. So afterwards, at the state tournament, how much do you remember of, like, after the match? Obviously, you know, you went down, and after you came over, and I hit you in the back, and your dad gave you a hug, and you went down with your family. You know, how much of that do you remember of the time leaving the mat, going up, getting your medal, going up into the backroom pictures, taking all that stuff?
I remember pretty much all of it. I mean, right after my match, went over. I was pointing to the family and everything. Went over and hugged you and my dad, and then walked
Just
over.
for the record, your dad was crying like a
Yeah,
baby.
he was.
Just for the record.
I got a picture of it. And then I went down and hugged some other people, like some other parents, and then ran over to my parents, and everyone hugged them. And then I went over to the interview room, and did an interview, and then Colin Moore's interviewer interviewed me and said like I was one of the only people to take him down all season and everything. And then I had to stop him because I had to puke in the trash can.
All those nerves were getting released.
Yeah, I puked a bunch, and then I remember my knee was like half black and half purple from like one of the scrambles I got in. My knee like got messed up, and so I had to go. We had to go to the trainer, and so me and my dad were walking around for like 20 minutes trying to find where the trainer was at, and I had like a big thing of ice like taped to my knee, and I didn't even care.
Yeah,
it was awesome. And then we went there, and after that we went and waited down by the podiums, and I was talking to some other my friends that wrestled that won and everything, and just kind of hanging out with them. And then we went and sat up on the podium, and I just was looking out at everyone, and it was just such a good feeling. Now I could finally just sit up there instead of anywhere else and know that I finally did it.
And not turning and looking up somebody else, it's got to be a good feeling.
That's right.
Got to be real good.
Getting out to look at everyone else.
Got to be a good feeling.
Yep.
So, what are your plans for the future for those who may not know what you're doing?
Well, next year I'll be going to Ohio University. I'll be redshirting there. Probably wrestling 165 pounds, and then should come in my redshirt freshman year and wrestle 165 if I don't get any bigger. Should be the plan, and then we'll go from there and see what happens.
Yeah, going in, not taking crap from any of those, even those older guys. Don't take crap off of those guys.
Yep.
Any idea of what you're going to major in right now? I know it may change 2 or 3 times, but any idea right now?
Right now I'm going to major in sports management and do that. And, I mean, they have like the #1 sports management major in the country, so that'd be good.
In the future, any ideas of what you'd like to do with the sport management degree?
I'm not sure yet exactly. I was thinking maybe going into like ticket sales or something like that, like getting like a ballpark or something cool like that.
Working for like some sort of like a marketing type deal with them. That's pretty cool, man. So just for if you had to say something to all the little kids coming up, because I know when you came here as a 5th grader, correct? Mm-hmm. Came as 5th. What year was that? You remember? Going back was a couple years ago, probably around the 06, 07.
Yeah.
So were you here when like Zach Ziegler and Blaine Klaus and Cody Tony and Sellers were seniors?
Yeah.
So right now you have 4th grade kids looking up to you like you did up to them.
Yeah.
You know, what would you tell those kids who are looking up to you?
I tell them it just takes work. You just got to keep working at it no matter what happens. You just always got to keep moving, just keep going, keep growing to get better, and no matter how discouraged you get or no matter what happens, you just got to keep pushing. And that's honestly it. You just got to keep getting after it, and you got to just work hard and just just do all the right things, and you'll be there. But.
All right. So, all right. What's one memory, maybe outside of actual competition of Mechanicsburg wrestling, that you'll remember?
There's a lot of them. One of the favorite things I had was this season at the state tournament. I mean, we weren't really expecting to get some. We didn't know if we were going to get as many people out as we did, and we ended up getting Nick Miller out and Alex Ryan. They wrestled great district tournaments, and I mean, it was so fun going to the state with all those guys and Joe and Caleb. But like we all were so close this season. I feel like it was like we had like a really good family this year, and just like hanging out with them all the time. Like we were all so close. Like in the hotels, we just mess around and just play around, and like you told the story that one time, we were sitting in the back of the van right after weigh-ins, and Nick was all hyped up on food and energy for once, and we're all laying in the back of the van like all like cuddling or whatever, and Joe's sitting in the front, and Nick's going nuts. I don't know what Nick's even doing. He's running around in the back while we're all laying there, and we start yelling at Joe, and we're like, Joe, come cuddle. And Joe just like comes flying over the seats, jumps back over there, and Nick's going nuts, and he's like telling us, he's like, you don't want to see crazy Nick when he has food. It's so funny.
Yeah.
But just being together, really, and just having a really close team was the best part. Really, I mean, it just felt good to have everyone there for each other.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
All right. So, what was I had the privilege of being able to be your head coach for all 4 years of high school. What was one thing that whenever I would say to do this, you're just like, oh, I hate you, High? Or what was the thing that you hated most about practices, and obviously then in turn what I would make you guys do?
Okay, probably
because you know that all future wrestlers, if I ever get a chance, I'm going to make them do this a bunch. So
yeah, I hated when we'd be like, we'd just be dead and we had to do drill matches. Those were the worst drill matches, and when we used to run those sprints around that like the U.
The U?
Here, yeah, those were awful. And when I'd be cutting weight, I'd get so mad. It's awful.
Yeah, you were always so pleasant to be around cutting weight.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It was like nice Austin and evil Austin. Evil Austin cut weight.
Yeah.
So going in then into this year, all the other years you did spend a lot of time cutting weight. This year you didn't.
Yeah.
Looking back on your freshman, sophomore, junior year, knowing if you could know then what you know now, what would you have done with your weight?
My freshman year, I about died making 103 pounds. I should have wrestled 112. I mean, could have been in the finals. I mean, would have been better than what I did. I mean, I'd have been feeling a lot better. Could have practiced harder. I'm sure I could have been in the finals then. And then my sophomore year, I could have bumped up. I mean, I bumped up halfway through the year, but I honestly could have bumped up again and wrestled heavier and probably won a state title there. And my junior year, same thing happened. I was cutting weight, died in the semis. But I just think I would not cut as much weight as I did, like not even close. Probably would have wrestled like what I did this year, probably cut like 5-6 pounds. And it's not really cutting weight. I mean, it's just getting your body fat down a little bit after just working out.
Yes, if you were only cutting 5 or 6 pounds, your career probably looked something like 112, 126 or 32.
Yeah.
Because you got big over that summer that year. 26 or 32, 45 or 52, and then 60.
Yep. Yeah.
So the moral for all the young guys is lift, get big, and don't cut as much weight.
Yeah, it helps when you get bigger.
Bigger, stronger, that obviously helps. So growing up, who were some of your the wrestling heroes that you had, whether it was at Mechanicsburg or college or international, or guys that you watched and said, okay, I want to wrestle like those guys?
I mean, David Taylor, obviously. Everyone loved watching David Taylor. He was just a freak. I mean, he was so fun to watch. Would just split matches open to destroy kids. 'Cause, I mean, he was so technically sound and everything. I used to love watching him. I mean, Tony Jamison I used to like watching him. I mean, he's a 4-timer. Everyone liked watching that. There was. Oh, I loved watching Cody. I loved watching Cody. He's so fast and.
Cody.
Tony. Yeah, he was tough, and I remember he always used to hit that head outside rotate double. So it was lightning fast. But I used to like watching him. Pretty much all the guys that were there when they were seniors, like him and Blaine and Zach and Salyers. They were fun to watch. But yeah, probably all them.
Probably those guys.
Yeah.
Cool. I know. Well, we are probably getting towards the end. Do you have anything else for just Mechanicsburg wrestling, Mechanicsburg fans, parents? Anything else? Got anything else for us?
I mean, it's a great. Mechanicsburg wrestling's awesome. I mean, we have awesome support and great fans and the boosters and everything. Everyone takes care of us, and it's a great family to be a part of. And I'm glad I was.
You got anything to say?
Fun.
Got anything to say to your mom and dad?
Love you.
All right, cool. We're out. Thanks.